Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's B. Avery here, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Just My Opinion. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And with this episode right here, we're talking Power, Book 2, Ghost, Season 1, Episode 4, titled The Prince. They should have called this episode Get It In, Get It In, Get It In. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. I didn't know. I don't care. But if you've seen this episode, you know what I'm talking about. And just to let you know, this is going to be a spoiler-filled episode. So if you are not caught up on episode 4, which I'm sure you are, please press pause, subscribe to the channel first, put this video in your watch later list, go watch the episode, come back because I'm going to spoil it up and down, left, right, in and out as if you've already seen the episode. So let's go ahead and get into this episode 4 because I really liked it. I thought it was really, really good. You know, at the end of episode 3, we see that Tariq tricked Zeke to get Monet to come to the room so that he can get a deal with her, and that's how things open up with this episode. So now Tariq has his new drug family with the Tejadas, and you know he's gonna be moving that weight around Stansfield campus, and I'm like really excited how this is going to turn out. I mean, I like where he's doing so far with this course correct app. I think that's pretty brilliant, but at the same time I was kind of watching, I was like, wait a minute. Is this like realistic? Okay, like as far as logistics is concerned, I mean, you're going around delivering papers. I mean, like, y'all can't go email PDFs or something like that. I don't know. I'm just saying with technology we have today, if somebody wants a study guide, I don't understand why that's not emailed, to the students across campus or virtual tutoring or something like that. But I could be looking for, too far into it. But a reason why someone never brought it up kind of puzzled my mind. I could be looking at this the wrong way. Please let me know down in the comment section. But that's how the episode starts. Tariq is on the phone with Monet and he is getting those rules. She's like, look, pay on time, pay with cash, do what I tell you to do, basically, because I don't want no problems. If you do what I tell you, we ain't gonna have no problems. It is what it is. And Tariq is like, he falling in line. He's like, okay, cool. I don't want no problems either. I'm just trying to get my mom out of jail. I got to sell this dope to, raise money to pay McLean. And so I'm going to do what I have to do. Now, this is where we meet the husband of Stern. His name is Sebastian. And I already tell you, I don't like this guy. He just seems like a weasel on the same level as Stacks. I'm just like, oh, bro, just get out of there. I hope, if somebody were to die in the show, I hope that it's him. But Tariq shows up at the office and, he's trying to negotiate prices and, they end up at being at like 5%. And, like I said, I mean, this character is I just don't like anything about him, and I can't wait till he's gone. Now, the next scene we have Tasha in jail. She's concerned about her baby Tariq. Like, hey, I know you're moving weight. Lorenzo Tejada hit me up on my phone. I don't know how he got my number. Somebody's watching me, like she said later on in the episode. And she's like, get a gun. Tariq don't know where to get a gun, but she tells him where to get the gun, and eventually he goes and gets the gun. Now, the next scene right here is really interesting to me. The way this sequence of events turned out across the whole episode, I thought was highly entertaining and also childish too. And kind of getting to the Get It In title that I want to name this episode. But we now have Tariq in class, and he actually is in class on time. And, they offer the new program to where you can graduate in 3 years and get all this extra credit, et cetera, et cetera. And Lauren, she thinks that, she has a shot. She's going to shoot her shot. Her girlfriend over in the front row is kind of throwing some shade on accident. I'm like, hey, girl, ain't your man in Washington? You should apply. She's like, man, shut up, okay? I don't really like that cornball dude, which we'll find out in a second. But, I'm trying to get a Tariq right here. She'll be like, okay, my bad. But when we have the small interaction, the conversation between Lauren and Jabari, and Milgram was kind of, spying in, listening in or whatever, whispering ear. Jabari, yeah, I guess, I don't know. Do y'all really think that he was just really trying to get at Lauren? I don't really think so because, later on, Carrie Milligram, she accuses Jabari of that. But I really think that, he was just, trying to be a good teacher and, and he really does care about his students, but he was encouraging Lauren to apply for the program. He thinks it'll be very beneficial for her. And she's like, hey, let's just talk about this outside of dinner or whatever, at my parents' house. And he's like, oh, your parent, he was kind of weirded out. Like, wait, what are you talking about? Dinner outside? Like, what? I thought that was kind of forward for me and my taste and my opinion for Lauren just to suggest that. I was kind of like, huh? What's going on? I mean, she's only 18 years old. I would see if she was the same age as like the grad student that Jabari had sex with at the end, not the end of the last episode, but during the last episode where Carrie unfortunately overheard. But she's wanting to talk about this outside of campus, for dinner, and I'm just kind of confused of like why did Professor Milgram, why did Professor Milgram like get upset? She kind of scoffed and was just like, yes, she still has the hots for Jabari, but it was very professional in my opinion. And I think that was a good idea. But initially Milgram was kind of butthurt and looking like she was in her feelings, like she was just kind of scoffing and just like, okay, what's going on here? Why are you trying to get to these girls' pants? And I really just don't think that was the case at all. But she was like, he was like, okay, hey, go ahead and invite another student or another guest, for optics. And that's where Tariq pops up like, hey, I'll be a guest, it'll be a date or whatever. And it does not look like she was just feeling that at all. And I don't know. I don't want to say that I felt sorry for her, but, she was just kind of like in a pickle right there. Now, y'all know in the past, I have complained about Monet's acting, Mary J. Blige. I don't really think it's that good. She's a great talent. I mean, it's still not the best, but it is getting a little bit better and better with each episode. But the next scene we're here, we have her, her son Kane, and they're going out to meet Lil Guap and the GTG boys because they being stupid and trying to floss online and stunt, talking about we doing this and doing that. It's just dumb. I mean, if you're moving weight, why post it online? Why put out in the world that you're living this type of lifestyle? It's just not that smart, But he calls her a puta and then tries to say it again in her face, and he gets the brakes beat off of him. I mean, his ass was beat. And that's just crazy. I mean, it was only two of them. It was Monique and Kane. And they had a good 8, 9, 10, 11 dudes out there or whatever. And they just let it get his ass whooped. And old dude was about to step in, but she was like trying about to pull a gun or whatever. But I really never liked Kane's character from the very beginning. But each episode, it feels like, his character is just like getting dumber and dumber. And it really just revealed itself in this episode because Elvis was walking off as, Monet is giving her badly acted lines. Like, oh, man, you beat the brakes off that. I'm just like, oh, my God, like, please practice your acting. But, hey, probably do better than I can. Kane was like, oh, Mom, I thought that was what you wanted me to do. I'm just like, bro, like, are you that weak in the head? Like, think for yourself. Like, and y'all later on, you're talking about y'all supposed to be a team, and you're getting mad at your mama because she working with Tariq or whatever, and and she called him out like, look, if we're a team, people play different parts on the team or whatever. You are not a thinker or whatever. What you did with Lil Guap, the GTG boys, that is your lane. Stay in your lane. I'm just like, okay, wow. I can already tell that there's going to be some type of division right now between mother and son. I hope not. I hope they get things together. But we're just gonna have to see. But things are not. I really feel that Kane is just gonna get butthurt one day and just be like, oh, I want to do things by myself, and I don't know. But I mean, I don't really like his character. But we're just gonna have to see what happens with him. Now, as far as Braden is concerned, at the very beginning of this episode, I'm like, I've never really liked Braden until this episode. I really like him now. At one point he's getting on my nerve. I'm like, bro, you're just too excited. Like, calm down. You're just like, yeah, drugs and girls and but he was just becoming really annoying to me. However, I am really impressed with the way he handled himself at the party later on, with Riley and, the dude that was also selling drugs to try to confront him, but like, hey man, you cramping on my style or whatever. I'm the one that runs this block or whatever. And I liked how he handled himself physically and verbally. If a dude came up and pushed him, he was just kind of like, what the f***? He didn't just swing immediately, trying to get some answers, fill him out, you know what I'm saying, measure up your opponent. I mean, that's just kind of how I looked at it. But, I like the way he handled himself, and I actually respect Braden a lot more after watching this episode. And we also see that that's kind of how Tariq, he was testing him or whatever. I think it was a risk. I don't necessarily understand why it was necessary, why Tariq had to, make that decision. But I guess it was a good decision. It did play out, in a positive way. And so while Braden was a character that I really just couldn't trust initially, I think that, he's coming around and I'm just liking his character, like, more and more and more. Now, kind of just going back just a little bit, we have the scene to where Tariq kind of shows up at the, I guess that was at the office of Davis McLean and Paula. And, he's trying to drop off these stacks of cash. And, he's like, hey, wait a minute, man. What am I paying you for here? You're wasting my money with these mock trials. It's just stupid. It's unnecessary. I need some insurances that, you're going to get my mom out of jail. McClain is like, look, basically, I'm all you got, okay? If my plan does not work, at worst, it'll just be a local case. At best, everything goes away. And Tariq really just doesn't have a choice, And so he goes ahead and pay him the cash. And so next we have Saxe and McLean in the George's quarters. I don't like Saxe at all. I don't think anybody does. He's a weasel. I've said that before. I'm pretty sure y'all feel the same way. I just want him to go down any way he can. But when they're going back and forth, I have to be honest with you, Saxe is kind of holding his own with the cross-examination, so I just have to give him that there. But I really do wish something would happen to him, but if something did, I guess the show just wouldn't be as dramatic that it is. But the next thing that we have right here is kind of what I was talking about earlier, where Kane is kind of overstepping his boundaries, wanting to do more and have more responsibility. Bonet just comes in there like, hey guys, we have a new business partner. We're going to be working with Tariq St. Patrick. And all of them kind of like, man, what the hell? Why are we working with him? We can't trust him. We need to stay with the GTG boys. Little Guap, we can control them. Monet's like, I can control anybody I want. I was just kind of laughing at myself when Kane was like, calling him like a bougie MFer or something like that. But, she's asking Drew what his opinion is. And then again, Kane is like overstepping his boundaries. And she's like, bro, shut up, chill out over there. I got this. But Drew is just like, hey, Tariq seems like a kind of a smart guy. He's keeping his head down. I think he has a handle on things. And they want to send, Monet wants to send Drew to go spy on him. He doesn't want to go. Diana wants to go. We all know why she wants to go. I think it would be better for her to go anyway, but, she does have a crush on Tariq. But that's when Drew kind of just pops up, at the crib, just like, hey, what's going on? Yada, yada, yada. But Tariq is not dumb. He has some experience. He's like, calls him out. Already like, look, I know you're here to spy on me. Monet sent you. And they end up going to class. And unfortunately, the ice cream did melt because it did look good that Braden bought with those waffle cones. I was like, damn, I wish I had some ice cream right now. But the next thing, like this whole season so far, everybody's been speculating on how soft Drew is and that he's not built for this life, et cetera, et cetera. And, there's just another revelation with his character is that apparently he's gay because he meets Everett in the classroom right now. And Everett is just really coming on him strong, just like, hey, you need a partner. And I'm just like, golly, could y'all not be more obvious? And just, the way they was looking at each other, I was like, wow, okay, I guess we have a new romance right here. This is the first get it in that I was talking about. But, they end up going back to the apartment. Tariq kind of sneaks out of there. And, they have their scene and their interaction. And I was kind of laughing when he's like, oh crap, I gotta go. My mom's on the phone. I gotta go. And he's like, oh, you call him a mama's boy. But, I was watching another channel and some people were, a bit bothered by the Kobe remark with the number 24 and kind of how they sexualized that. I didn't look at it that way, but when I heard them mention it, I was kind of saying to myself, yeah, that is, I can understand how that, may have bothered somebody. But Drew is gay. He's not out he's out the closet to us, the audience, breaking the fourth wall, but of course not to all the characters in the show and his family and friends, etc. like that, but he's panicking because Tariq is blowing him up like, hey, I need more product. Braden hitting him up, somebody, hey, we got orders, but we don't have no product. And he hits up Diana to come and save the day. Now, this is funny right here because the next scene is like, Monet is really tough and really strict. She don't trust none of her kids. She's like, look, my phone is not ringing, but yours is when I'm trying to call Tariq or Drew, answer the phone right now. And, that's when, she overhears that, Tariq needs more product. And Deanna, like I said, comes and saves the day. But I really like Diana, Diana. I really do like her. Cool character so far. But she, drops off the drugs and, I like how honest she was. It's just basically like, hey, Drew was supposed to be here, but he's just unavailable. I'm here now. My mom didn't want, my mom wants me to stay away from you. And it's like, why? What did I do? And because of you, but like, what about me? It's just, well, it's because I'm afraid that I was going to do something like this. And she just leans in and kisses him. I'm like, oh, getting in part two. First it was Drew and Everett. Now it's Tariq and Diana. And Drew going to come in there late, like, trying to charge them up, talking about, hey, what y'all doing? Hey, well, where you been? What you been doing? You know what I'm saying? Drawing 24s on paper and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you need to fall back there or whatever. But I was really mad because I'm not just finna sit here and say like, oh, I wanted to see Diana and Tariq have sex. I didn't want to see that, especially with Tariq being a minor. It's just, I look at him as a child, a boy. So, as Deanna as well. She's cute though, but, so, I mean, I wonder how far it would have went if Drew did not knock on the door. But, kind of at the same time, I'm glad that he did. Now, even though I spoke about Riley earlier, this is kind of where she kind of pops up on the scene to where Tariq is just, not Tariq, but Sax is just kind of going crazy trying to reach John Mock on the phone. Things are not going his way. Riley gets dropped off. She's, got caught trying to buy, I forgot if it couldn't have been a few pounds. It has to be a few ounces. But Sax ends up cutting a deal with his niece, just like, hey, I won't tell your mother all this stuff, but if you spy on Tariq, and that's kind of just like,
how we have a new character developing the show. I kind of feel like she's going to die somehow, some way, some form. She's not horrible, but I don't necessarily like her either. But, we're just going to have to kind of see how that plays out right there. We also, we get some more shots of Sebastian trying to live his life. He got on the white tux jacket on now, and just he's liking all the money that Tariq is bringing in. But, I kind of jumping around here. Tariq was in a desperate moment, but Sebastian done mad. Somebody, oh, you still need that 15%. So this dude done went from 3% to 5% to 15%. That is not sustainable. That is not going to last that long. Tariq was just in a desperate moment. And I really do think that Tariq will possibly whoop Sebastian's ass. I mean, maybe not, but I would not mind if I saw that. But I don't think Sebastian is going to be around that much longer. But, it is what it is. Now, this is where things kind of reveal themselves that Monet is just kind of thinking that, her son is gay or, soft or just not built for this life. Because as he's taking a shower, she's trying to get a feeling about how things are going on. He says that the money's in the bag, and that is when she goes into the bag and pulls out the picture of him drawing, just other figures of a man, on the paper. And she's concerned as, I guess any mother would be, but she just kind of lets him know, like, hey, I love you. We're family. We got to stick together, basically come home. There are other people or other men in the world are not like our family, but always come home, son. You always, we'll have some type of love here. And so it just, I don't know. It's kind of interesting just the way they I don't think that she just like, okay, hey, my son is gay. She may have some thoughts, some feelings, things being suspect, but it's always interesting when I see how parents react to, I guess they're, them finding out that their children may be gay or coming out. Some are accepting, so it's no big deal. Some like, oh my gosh, if you're gay, I'm gonna kill you. Okay, and that's clearly not the case with what happened with Monet. But we'll see, how things play out in the next coming episodes. Now, the next scene right here is when we're having the fellowship dinner and things are just awkward as hell. Tariq is late. Lauren's parents are super duper bougie. I mean, my goodness gracious, they have all kind of sticks up their asses. And I'm just like, oh, yes, the prince. It's not that long of a book. I guess you just didn't. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what she said, but I was just like, okay, woman, shut up. Okay. It was so whack. I can't even do a proper impersonation. But I'm just like, man, I feel sorry for you, Lauren. Like, I mean, both your parents like this, and look how you turned out. And they got the corny. Well, we'll talk about, we'll talk about that in a second. But, this Becca, it was funny because like Jabari trying to show off was like, oh yes, the vernacular in this way, and it swings back and forth from the pendulum in the black community, yuck, 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 yuck. And like Milgram comes and like kind of shuts him down. I was laughing my ass off in that scene right there. But they're trying to show each other up, and Milgram is getting jealous, and Lauren is feeling awkward, and she's like, hey, let's go in my room and get away from this, like right now. I mean, that was obvious, but I don't think she was trying to hide it or anything like that. But, they go into the room and they're talking and getting to know each other, and, they kind of have a, she's talking about her older brother, and how he had so much pressure on him, and how he started taking this type of medication and this type of medication, and now he's in the facility or whatever. He's on drugs severely, and that's just not good. And she was like, I don't want to end up like that as well. And so that's just kind of why she kind of has a different tone about everything. And she's really really stepping up on Tariq, and it just kind of shows, man, like women will always shoot their shot. If they're interested. Sometimes, guys, it's just good to kind of just sit back and just kind of play it cool, if they find you attractive or whatever. It doesn't work for everybody. You got to use what you got. But, Tariq, he like Sebastian was saying earlier, man, he got the waves for the babes, I got an afro, but Tariq, he has the waves for the babes. I remember I used to hear that on my homeboys in high school. His dad used to always say, "Oh, I see y'all get the do-rag on, trying to get the waves for the babes." It was just hilarious, but it's working for Tariq. You know what I'm saying? And so Lauren is like, "Hey, man, why you so quiet and standoffish? You're so mysterious," and da 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 da. Tariq just like, "Hey, man, it's just, I'm just being me," or whatever, like all these people got all these questions, It's like, well, we wouldn't have all these questions if you just spoke up more. Well, I would speak up more if you wasn't in my face 24/7. And she's just like, "I want you." Mwah! And, okay, she didn't do all of that, but it was cute. But everybody, like Tariq just keeps getting the cock blocked by people knocking on the door. You know what I'm saying? First, he was trying to kiss and make out with Deanna. Drew knocks on the door, and then he trying to make out with Lauren, and the whack ass boyfriend from Washington come knocking on the door like, "Ha ha ha, how y'all doing? How you doing?" I mean, this dude was worse than Carlton. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, God, dog. That's just the vibe I got from him, just like whack, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I would have been ticked off of my parents, like, "Man, why y'all wanting to buy this cornball, man? I mean, he nice, he cool, but I'm liking Tariq over here, you know what I'm saying?" That's awkward. And the dude was like, "Oh, you must be Jamal," my parents Lauren's parents was telling me that we're tutoring through the Jack and Jill program. Yeah, Lauren is just like, "Hey, man, that's not, like, I was just laughing, Tariq over there just like, "Oh, man, he just playing it cool. Like, is this my competition? Ha, 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 I'm good. I'm good." So, hopefully Tariq, I don't want to see this dude smashing, man. He's a little young for that. But I guess he can do some kissing, hugging, and booty rubbing. I guess that's as far as we'll go as far as his intimacy with the women on this show. But we're gonna see. But yeah, when what's his name, Malcolm? When Malcolm shows up, Tariq beelines it out of there or whatever. But then we have the next shot right here, and this is just so damn silly. Okay, with Milgram and Jabari. I mean, the whole argument was just dumb. Just don't project your stuff on me. I know who I am. And you with the children, and you only invited Lauren because you wanted to rub it in my face. Okay, and they end up having sex. Get it in, baby. Yes, everybody just get it in. And she was very aggressive. It's like the acting just wasn't. I'm just not really buying Milgram as a sex addict. It's just something about the performance. They just threw that in there for her character just because they want to seem edgy and all this stuff. But I mean, I don't know. Everybody likes Smash to a degree. Some people like it more than others. Apparently she likes it a lot, but it's just kind of like weird. Like the way I don't know. It was a nice sex. She fine as hell. You know what I'm saying? When they did the wide shot and showed the little skirt she had on, and she was undoing her dress or whatever, and Jabbar tried to come up and she slapped his hand. I kind of like that aggressive play right there, but at first when she kind of grabbed his shoulders and ripping this, I was like, man, this is kind of corny. But anyway, when she was taking off her skirt and they showed the little silhouette, I was like, okay, damn, you looking good, my sister. I would be sitting back happy to get it too. Jabbar just sitting there just like, yeah. But yeah, she is fine. They got it in, and hey, hopefully. I want them to be together, but this silly back and forth bickering between them two, just like, oh golly, come on, get to sex. And I got to it, and it was, it seemed pretty good. Go Professor Milgram. Now, this is where I was talking about earlier, where Tariq was, he ended up getting to test Braden, and I like that. I like how they handled that. He beat up Scott. Scott ended up getting kicked out the school, but the next scene right here, we got Paula with her fine ass smashing Davis McLean or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, well, everybody is smashing everybody. Everybody is getting it in. And apparently he didn't think his performance was that well because she up her focusing on bank wires and shady LLCs. And he's like, hey, man, if you focus on that, I didn't do a good job. He's fishing for a compliment. He could have did a good job, maybe not or whatever. But, hey, I mean, if she wants to give you a review, great. But it's just not best to ask, in my opinion. But I don't think that's what he was doing. It's just kind of silly dialogue between the characters. But it's unfortunate because McLean is married and he's cheating on his wife. And so I don't support adultery, all that stuff. Don't have constructive sex with your spouse only if you're married. But Paula is fine as hell. Temptation. But yeah, she would get it. She would definitely get it. She would get it. Milgram would get it. But Paula is definitely one of them. But they getting that money now from the LLC. And even before, when she approached him in the hallway at the dorm, she gave the cash back. And she fell for his little sob story, Tariq's little sob story. He really be pulling a fast one on everybody. And I'll go ahead and say, like, in The Power, the original show, Tamika was just a character that I just really didn't care about, but I'm really feeling her, in this this new show right here, Power Book 2 Ghost. I don't know why, but I mean, she's actually just one of my favorite characters. I just think she's like, very, very strong. That's cool. But next we have Tariq, he's getting text messages from Lauren. She's like, hey, can we talk? He's like, there's nothing to talk about. But I really like the way that she, she didn't want to bother him, so she didn't sit next to him. But I like the way he went over there. Just like, hey, man, ain't no beef. I'm not going to make it weird. I didn't do nothing wrong. But, hey, it's all cool. And she's like, I'm sorry. And, like, man, the game that he put down, it's like, look, man, it is what it is. We only 18 years old. She's like, you're 17. Well, look, in a few more weeks, I'm going to be 18. And it's just not realistic to us to think that people that we're seeing right now, we're going to be with the rest of our lives. We have options. We're young. We're growing. We're developing. And she couldn't do nothing but respect that. And then it was like perfect timing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? First, he was getting interrupted by door knocks, but now he's getting a good interruption with the phone. And it is Diana texting him, telling him, hey, baby, where you at? No, I don't know if that's what the actual text message said. Lauren's like, who is Diana? And he's like, hey, we got options. And I mean, like, I was just like, man, that is just some player ass shit right there. Lauren cannot get upset. I mean, the dude is on. I mean, women, hey, I want a guy to just tell me how it is and be honest with me straight up. And that dude was honest. He was straight up. She came on to him. Actually, both women came on to him. She came on to him while she had a boyfriend. He wasn't tripping and didn't make it weird. He was like, look, I'm not tripping. Look, I mean, I'm feeling you, but I'm not, I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm not backing down. You know what I'm saying? If this whack Malcolm dude, is my competition, yuck, like I said earlier. And he's like, I got options too. And I mean, she can't do nothing but respect that. I mean, it is what it is. And I'm just like, man, look at this dude, Tariq right here, just putting the mag down. You know what I'm saying? I'm really, 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 really feeling that right there. The next scene right here, we got Tasha in jail. She doing push-ups. She hitting up Tariq, just talking about how worried she is and all that stuff. The last scene is Riley. I don't know what the significance is of her snapping the picture and Sax getting all happy, but, I mean, we'll see what happens in episode 5, guys. We'll see what happens in episode 5. But it was a good episode, man. Everybody getting it in. Drew is getting it in. Deanna's getting it in. Lauren is getting in with Tariq. Professor Milgram and Jabari getting it in. And McLean and Paula getting it in. So everybody's getting it in, guys. Everybody is getting it in. But guys, that is just my opinion for episode 4, titled The Prince, aka Get It In for Power 2 Ghost. But I can't even say the title of the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If you like the video, please go ahead and give me that thumbs up. Also, please subscribe to the channel. And let me know everything that you thought about this episode. I want to know everything, your likes, your dislikes. If you like Braden, if you like Milgram, if you like Jabari, if you like Malcolm, if you like whoever, let me know down in the comment section below. Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. Like I said, look me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's right there at the bottom of your screen. And subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. Before you go, don't forget to always chase your dreams, because I'm chasing mine. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.